Can a simple food help you live past 100? In 2024, the world lost its oldest verified person, Maria Branyas Morera, who lived to be 117 years and 168 days old. Her life spanned one of the most disruptive centuries in human history. Wars, pandemics, migration, technological acceleration, and profound social change. She didn't reach 117 in isolation. She existed in a dynamic environment across more than 100 years. Her extraordinary lifespan sparked global attention not just for its length, but for what it might reveal about humans' age, because her story raises a deeper question. What allows a human organism to persist, adapt, and remain intact across decades of disruption, not just for years, but for over a century? Today, we'll explore Maria's life at multiple levels: her lived experience, mindset, daily habits, genetics, immune biology, and gut microbiome. And while one habit in particular captured public attention, this is not a story about a single miracle food. It's about a pattern, a convergence of biology, behavior, and balance that helps explain what longevity can look like. This is the science of longevity. Maria Branyas Morera was born on March 4, 1907 in San Francisco to Spanish parents. At the age of 8, she crossed the Atlantic with her family to settle in Catalonia, Spain. During that journey, her father died of tuberculosis, an early reminder that life would not be free from loss or hardship. Over the next 117 years, Maria lived through the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, as well as World War I, the Spanish Civil War, World War II, and the rapid technological transformation of modern life. And yet, despite that external volatility, her personal life became increasingly stable. For more than 20 years, she lived at the same residence in Catalonia. She valued routine, predictability, and daily structure, elements often overlooked but biologically meaningful. When COVID-19 emerged, she survived infection at the age of 113, becoming the oldest person in Spain to do so at the time. This wasn't theoretical resilience, it was proof through lived experience. Details of Maria's long life begin to emerge when we consider how Maria aged. Not just how long she lived, but how well. She remained cognitively intact and mentally clear until very late in life. Aside from expected hearing loss and some mobility limitations, she lived largely free of the chronic diseases that dominate aging: cardiovascular disease, diabetes, neurodegeneration, and inflammatory-based illnesses. Her aging was not marked by sharp decline. It was gradual, buffered, and remarkably stable. That observation alone suggests something unusual was happening beneath the surface. Maria did not explain her longevity in technical terms. She often credited luck and good genetics, but just as consistently mentioned repeated philosophical themes: order, tranquility, and close relationships with family and friends. To her, a long life was less about optimization and more about avoiding unnecessary strain. She spoke openly about emotional boundaries, staying away from what she called toxic people, maintaining calm and living without regret. On social media, she once wrote, "I'm old, very old, but not an idiot." The line was humorous, but it revealed something essential. She still knew who she was and was fully present in the world with her emotional balance intact. When asked what she expected from life, she reportedly answered simply, death. Yet, she treated each additional year as a gift, or as she called it, a beautiful journey, not something owed or resisted. Even as global attention surrounded her, she described herself as surprised and grateful, not exceptional. This perspective matters more than you might think. From a biological standpoint, chronic psychological stress is one of the strongest accelerants of aging. Long-term stress has been shown to speed up epigenetic aging and is associated with telomere attrition, reflecting cumulative cellular stress and reduced capacity for repair. In addition, chronic stress is strongly linked to the earlier development and faster progression of many age-related diseases, including cardiovascular disease, metabolic dysfunction, and neurodegenerative decline. Together, these changes demonstrate that psychological strain translates into biological wear, accelerating inflammation, immune decline, and tissue aging across the body. Before her death, Maria agreed to be studied by a team of researchers in Spain led by Dr. Manel Esteller. What they found confirmed that her resilience wasn't only philosophical, it was written into her biology. Using molecular aging markers, including DNA methylation patterns that track epigenetic aging, researchers discovered that Maria's biological age was dramatically younger than her chronological age, by an estimated 23 years. In practical terms, her cells behaved more like those of someone decades younger, maintaining gene activity patterns typically seen in much healthier, younger individuals. This youthful biological profile extended beyond her DNA. Aging is typically accompanied by something called inflammaging, a state of chronic low-grade inflammation that accelerates tissue damage and fuels age-related disease. Maria, however, showed unusually low inflammatory markers and a surprisingly resilient immune system. Her immune cells, including long-lived memory T cells, retained function far beyond what is normally seen at an extreme age. That finding is critical because immune system collapse is one of the primary biological limits on human lifespan. Maria's immune resilience suggests that her body was not merely surviving longer, her body maintained stability and vitality in ways most older people do not. Now, to the aspect that captured global attention, Maria's daily yogurt habit. She reportedly ate yogurt every day, often 3 servings, for decades, and her family recalled a specific Catalan brand that she loved, which she described fondly as her manna from heaven. Researchers believe this habit may have contributed to her unique gut microbiome, since yogurt contains live bacteria called probiotics, which help maintain and replenish beneficial bacteria populations. In most elderly individuals, microbial diversity collapses. Beneficial bacteria decline while pro-inflammatory species dominate. In Maria, the opposite was true. Her microbiome composition resembled that of much younger adults, with high levels of bifidobacterium, a genus associated with gut barrier integrity, immune modulation, and reduced systemic inflammation. This likely contributed to lower immune activation, better metabolic signaling, and an overall reduced inflammatory load. While her yogurt habit supported gut health and likely contributed to her health in old age, scientists cautioned that it was not a magic bullet. Rather, it was one piece of a broader pattern of consistent, healthy living that reinforced her longevity. Genetically, Maria carried variants associated with protection against DNA damage and age-related disease. I'm not listing the specific genetic variants Maria had to make this video more digestible for a wider audience of viewers. However, if that level of detail is something you would like to see in future videos, please leave me a comment below and I'm happy to oblige. Back to Maria. Interestingly, she also had very short telomeres, which challenges the simplistic narrative that telomere length alone determines longevity. In her case, stability and repair mechanisms appeared to matter more than any single aging metric, which reinforces a growing view in gerontology. Longevity is not about optimizing one variable, it's about preserving system-level balance. If you've watched my other videos, you can see this theme emerge repeatedly. This idea isn't new. Many of my influences come from classical Chinese medicine, which has emphasized balance and harmony as a foundation for long life for thousands of years. What's striking is how modern biology now arrives at the same conclusion time and time again through different methods. To learn more about how to maintain system-level balance between biological stability and repair mechanisms, watch my video on mTOR regulation in the body. Maria followed a Mediterranean-style diet rich in olive oil, fruits, vegetables, and fish. As we discussed earlier, she ate yogurt daily, sometimes multiple servings, providing consistent exposure to live bacterial cultures. This likely reinforced the gut environment that supported immune balance over decades. She never smoked, she never drank alcohol, and she walked regularly well into old age. In many ways, her longevity can be contributed to consistent, gentle, reinforcing habits repeated daily for nearly a century. Maria Branyas Morera's life doesn't point to a hack, a supplement, or a miracle food. It points to alignment between genetics and environment, between emotional regulation and immune stability, between daily inputs and long-term biological outcomes. Her longevity appears to be the result of reduced biological volatility, a body and mind that avoided extremes, recovered well from stress, and maintained internal equilibrium over time. Supplements, herbs, and biohacking can improve longevity outcomes, but they must occur on a strong foundation of healthy habits. Maria Branyas Morera died peacefully in her sleep in August 2024 at the age of 117. Her life suggests that endurance is not built through dramatic action, but through calm consistency, sustained across decades of change. And while we cannot choose our genes or the era we're born into, Maria's story shows that how we manage stress, maintain balance, and nurture our biology over time may matter far more than we realize. By cultivating inner calm and following consistent habits that support equilibrium, we can extend not only the years of our life, but the quality of those years, starting today and moving forward. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe, and stay tuned in the future for more high-quality content about how you can extend your longevity and the quality of your years to come. See you in the next one.